Welcome back to another edition of Hop on Calls. We have a special Christmas edition. Check me out. I look very fat and jolly today, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm your host, Kevin Hopp. This is Julie Nestor coming to us
Hello.
from Flossum.
Flossum. It's Flossum. Yes. I want to say
Flossum.
Flossum too. Like Flossum is awesome, but no, it's Flossum. Go with the flow.
It's like the teeth you want to keep. You gotta floss them.
No.
Flossum.
No.
Aha.
Dang it. Sorry,
Well,
Grish. No. Yeah, it is Flossum, but Flossum is like it works with what we do. So it's like keeping things in the flow. So
okay. Julie, tell the audience a bit about yourself. They probably know who I am at this point, but who's Julie? What do you do, and how'd you get to where you are?
Julie is colorful. Colorful past is very, very long story, so I wouldn't go into it fully. But I have 25 years in sales, many, many different industries of sales. I most recently was in new home sales, which I really, really loved. I have most of my experience with full cycle sales, but have always and started off on the phones, cold calling. Yes. I started off in credit card telesales,
Whoa!
really hard in the 90s.
Wow!
Really, really hard job. And then I managed that and then went into customer service, which in credit card sales, you're also, I mean, in credit card industry, you were always in sales because even in customer service, we were selling balance transfers, we were selling a lot of things,
Oh yeah!
credit insurance. So I love that. I loved managing a team of salespeople, and that's my favorite thing is coaching people and helping them kind of figure it out and be like, oh my God, I can do this. Because a lot of people don't think they can be a salesperson. They have all these reasons why they couldn't do
Sure.
it.
Preconceived
And so
notions.
that's my favorite thing. I've been rebuilding my career. I was a single mom of 4 kids for a bit there, and that proved to be pretty hard. So I became a freelancer, started working from home, met my husband, and now 11 years later, I am working from home again, breaking into SaaS. And that is because we've got some health problems with my husband to deal with, and I really just want to be working at home.
Yep.
So the SaaS industry is perfect for that.
That's right.
So here I am, and I
Love
love
it.
cold calling. So it's been definitely a challenge, Kevin. Just learning for me, being a BDR is a challenge because I've had that full cycle experience, and so sometimes it's a little bit different. But cold calling is like my safe space. It's where I feel pretty good and comfortable.
Wow! This is why we get along. Cold calling is my safe space.
It is. It's where I feel comfortable. Emailing, no. You can just ask Ryan, my manager. Like emailing's not my safe space at all. Like I write novels. I'm a
Yep.
writer.
Right.
And I've always been in social media. I started on MySpace and all that, but I've always been wordy. I mean, even here on LinkedIn, you'll see my posts are always freaking wordy. It's like annoying,
Yeah.
but it's just who I am. And so emails, but phone calls, yes, I love it.
Love that. Awesome. Awesome. You are of a rare breed. That's why I wanted to bring you on the show. You're also recommended by a bunch of other people as someone that crushes phones. So I love that. We are all about cold calling here. And let's give a shout out real quick to our sponsor, Kixie. You're all in one B2B, B2C business phone system. Kixie, I'm gonna be using their power dialer feature today to have a lot of connections with people. Shout out to Kixie. If you guys have not tried Kixie, if you're not using a process, a structure, and technology in what you're doing today, I feel bad for you. I got 99 problems, and a lack of tech is not one. Let's put it that way.
Hey, you're right, Kevin. I mean, back in the day, it was like the corded phone. I am happy not to be there today. Having a power dialer, thank you, Kixie, right?
There you go. Yeah. And corded phone. I don't know if my family might have had one of them when I was born, but it's been a
I know it
long
ages
time.
me. That's why I have to wear hats and stuff just to not age myself. But yeah, corded phones.
Young at heart. That's what matters.
Forever young.
Well, Julie, we were going to talk a little bit in the beginning here. Let's start out with Flossum. What do you guys do, and who are you going to be calling today? And then maybe we're going to workshop a little bit of your pitch and try something new.
Yeah. So Flossum is a Salesforce release management tool. We do a lot of things, and I'm going to be honest and tell you I'm 6 weeks in, and I'm learning everything that we do. But in general, Salesforce, when you're a DevOps team and you're doing releases, there's a lot to it, and everybody has their own processes. They use their own tools, but what's really hard is managing it all and making sure that it's running as smoothly as possible and saving yourself as much time. So we see a lot of people that are, they're coming up with solutions and workarounds to kind of make their process manageable, but causing themselves problems in that process. So
who's your target?
My target right now, today, I'll be calling DevOps managers, like leaders, DevOps teams, and DevOps engineers.
Okay, cool. And for everybody else out there to kind of understand in the big picture of cloud computing, DevOps is the idea of what is going live in your cloud infrastructure when and maintaining it. And, 99% of the companies you see on LinkedIn are SaaS businesses, right? And SaaS is huge. You and I work in SaaS. SaaS is all in the sky. It's in the cloud. And fun fact, when I hired a BDR, when I was an account executive, he was working directly for me. It was a long time ago. It was like probably 5-6 years ago. And he leaned forward and asked me one day, he said, "Hey, Kevin, which cloud is our app in? Like, is it that one?" He thought it was a cloud. He thought it was an actual cloud.
Oh no, stop it.
It turns out that it is not an actual cloud, but that they need engineers and infrastructure people to maintain the infrastructure of computing on other computers, which is the cloud. So you're going to be calling DevOps folks. What does your script right now? How specific is it? I guess is the first question for you.
Now, right now, our script is pretty specific. We are really targeting whether or not these teams are refreshing their sandboxes with every release, or are they trying to save money, trying to save time by not refreshing their sandboxes with every big production release. That's our big focus right now. The reason why is because it's causing, people think they're saving themselves some money by doing it that way, saving themselves some money. Sandbox, production environment's really, really expensive. And then, you don't want to refresh your sandbox environment over and over. So, because it costs a lot of money, I guess. So that's what we're really focused on.
Interesting. So what's the business problem associated with that, though? So
the problem is the cost. It's a workaround. It's just a workaround, but there's a couple of things. It's causing issues and errors on future production releases down the line. And so while it seems like you could be saving yourself money by not refreshing it, or time by not refreshing it, you're actually costing more time and money.
Interesting. So is the word sandbox in your pitch, I guess is my question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it in a Google Doc ready to share live, or do you not want to do that?
I do have it in a Google Doc, but I don't know. I didn't really talk about that with my manager or not. You know what I mean?
We won't share it live. But so one of the things that I always talk about when I'm talking with teams about their talk tracks is a lot of people want to use specific language.
Mm-hmm.
But specific language can do one of two things. It's either going to get you down a really topic-driven conversation quickly, which is what we hope it does, but it can also help people go like this. Boop, check the box. Oh, you're talking about sandboxes, Julie? Thanks for the call. I already have a sandbox environment. I run it the way I run it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
So one of the things I would think about is, how do we talk about the issues and the errors and the cost savings associated with the sandbox without having to say, we help you with your sandbox environment? You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Know what you mean. Now, interestingly enough, we did that. We used to go in at it and say things kind of vaguely, where we were, a lot of the DevOps people we talk to are looking to like speed up their release times, cut down on the time spent doing code conflict resolution, kind of keep it vague. I guess that's not even as vague as you're talking. I don't know, but we had a hard time because it was like people were like, "We're good, we don't have," or like. But it seemed like the sandbox topic was really getting me a lot.
It's working. So it is getting us into a topic-driven conversation.
Yeah,
because that's what you want. And one of the things that I think a lot of teams struggle with is if you go too broad. If we just say, "Hey, I'm from Floss and we save you money," okay, right?
Good for you.
You go too broad, people are going to say, okay, either I don't believe you, or of course you have the perfect thing and I don't, which I don't want to. No one wants to admit their baby's ugly.
Oh,
There's no
right.
that.
Right.
Then if you go too specific, you get the box checkers, right? So this is actually something that I'm working with intensely. And one of my clients is a cybersecurity company. We are working very intensely on the script and the talk track because the number one objection is, hey, you do cyber? I have cyber. Peace. Right? Everybody thinks that, okay, I bought it.
No, and we run into this. Yeah.
Nice.
Because most of the people that I call have a solution. They already have their solution.
That's right.
So this isn't like, but we are a native solution. There are things that make us different, but that's not what really I'm trying to get into.
Yeah.
You know. So
all right. So why don't we both start dialing here and see if we can't get some going? I am going to be calling on behalf of my own business, Hopp Consulting Group. I help businesses, B2B tech companies, primarily startups, with outbound structure, process, and strategy. I call it calling culture in general, right? The idea of how do we have a structure in place, a platform in place, talk track, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit go over here, and you're going to get your stuff.
I'm ready. I'll hit go as well. And,
love that. So the first person to connect, the other person needs to not talk over them if at all possible. But this is part of the fun chaos of doing live cold calling.
Yeah. I'll try to mute. I'll try to be muting as quick as possible. Where's that mute button? So I get ready. Okay, yeah.
Fun fact for everybody, this is going to be our last Hop on Calls of the year. We're going to be taking next week off. And we will be back with a vengeance in January. I've got some incredible guests lined up. One of which is one of LinkedIn's #1 overall voices in sales, a guy with over 100,000 followers. Really excited to have him on the show. That's coming up in January.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And my phone is ringing. I'm calling founders and CEOs. Using the word founder tends to potentially bring in people that are technically inclined too.
That's a good idea.
So if you guys, that's something that might happen. It's not a great idea for me. It's a good list because it has like comprehensive coverage of like all of these different companies, but it's not a good thing for me to talk to someone who's technical because the first thing they're going to say is,
this is Julie from Flowsome. How are you? Julie from Flowsome. The reason I'm calling you, Nathan, today is because I'm following up on a recent email I sent you. Does the name Flowsome ring a bell? Oh, okay. Well, the reason why I'm calling you specifically, Nathan, is because you are working with the Salesforce DevOps teams there at Medline. Is that right? I'm glad that I was able to figure that out so we can stop calling you. Is there somebody else that I should be calling? I'm really just trying to reach out to them so I can help them with that DevOps process. Okay. Oh, well, thanks for thinking of it. And I hope you have a happy holidays. All right. Thanks, Nathan.
wrong person.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I'll tell you, that's my biggest opportunity right now is my prospecting. And it's hard because not everybody in their title says Salesforce DevOps. And there's a lot of DevOps, right? And, I'm calling health science companies. So they have a lot of DevOps.
So you're calling health science specifically?
Mm-hmm. Health and life sciences. So hospitals.
Why not mention that?
So definitely. What would you mean?
So I noticed you started the call with, hey, it's Julie with Flowsome. I'm following up on an email.
Yeah.
So the following up on the email opener is as old as email itself, right?
It is.
I know so many teams that love to say I'm following up on an email because then it warms it up. The idea that someone might be like, oh, really? Okay. But 99
I did send them an email. This is true though, but go ahead. But
that's So 99 times out of 100, you didn't send them an email.
No, yeah, I did.
They didn't open it, or if they opened it, did they open it? Right. So one of the other things that sucks is like Apple and Google are now using built-in services to open emails that are sent. Right.
Right.
It's hard to land in the inbox. If you do land in the inbox, you can get a false positive indicator of interest or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
The other thing that drives me nuts, Julie, is the idea that I opened an email, therefore I'm interested in your stuff.
True.
It's not true, right? So, but no, I'm not trying to poo-poo your opener. I'm just saying, leading with the reason for the call is I sent you an email, can actually put them, and think about this, right? Think about this. It could put them in a state of distrust right away because they don't remember your email.
That's true.
Even if you did send it to them, they opened it and deleted it within 5 seconds. Every single day, I spend, 10, 20, 30 minutes of my day simply deleting emails.
Right.
And you can call me and say I'm following up on email, and I don't care. The only reason I would care is if I replied to that email and it's an actual level of communication. So people open with that because you want it to be warm. You're like, that'll help them go, oh, an email.
Maybe,
okay.
Yeah.
But if you think all the way through that, you start to see that, man, okay, well, what if I just said, hey, it's Julie calling with Flowsome. I know I'm calling you out of the blue. Do you have a minute? I'll just explain exactly why I'm reaching out to you.
Okay, I do like that because we were saying, now I'll be honest, our script says, hey, I know I'm calling out of the blue. Mind if I share why?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I like that.
But my natural brain doesn't say that. I think part of that is my telesales background or something where, maybe it's like, so I'm like crutching it with, like you said, I want to warm it up with that email line. But you're right. It doesn't really warm it up as much as I seem to want to. So I'll try the out of the blue, calling out of the blue thing too.
And then I'd get as specific as I can. Right. Yeah. So what's nice is you're calling a narrow list. Right. So when I'm going to connect with somebody here, it's going to be a founder at a startup. These are all like seed stage founders, but that's still broad. If you know that it's DevOps in health companies, that'd be the first thing out of my mouth. I'd say, all right, well, thanks for giving me a minute here. Jeremy, Tom, Bob, Susie. I work with DevOps people at healthcare and health tech companies to help them, whatever Flowsome does. So in their head, it's checking boxes as they go along. They're like, okay, do I know who this person is? No, but I'm going to let them speak. Okay, Julie. Okay, she sounds nice. Next thing is, oh, you work with companies just like mine. I'm in healthcare tech. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Now the value of what Flowsome's doing should hit as well. If the value misses, then we know we either have a bad target or a bad message. But the value should be specific to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely know what you mean. I think I have a problem with what I need to kind of nail down is that line there about I work with help, like what exactly, because I've been focusing on this specific, like, oh, we're going to talk about this or we're going to talk about this. And I don't have a good one-liner yet of, did you notice that when I introduced what we do at Flowsome? So that's something I really need to work on is like, do you open with that every time?
So the way I open is context, then a question. Context and a question. The context, like for me, for instance, right? Like, by the way, I'm going to hit go so that I can maybe get a live call while we're talking.
Awesome. Yeah.
But I'll keep explaining. So the context.
Yeah, and I'm going to update my script. So go.
Context is, here's who I am. I work with companies like yours doing this.
Right. Okay.
I work with people like you doing this.
I work with health life science companies in their Salesforce DevOps release process or something like that, or helping with them. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then
it doesn't have to be like extremely descriptive. It just has to be a quick
context and question, because the goal of a cold call is a conversation. You want this volley and response. It's what's different, very different than telemarketing or these other things where it's like, I just want to vomit all this stuff and for you to say yes or no. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to get a topic driven conversation going with somebody. And that's something that I was actually teaching one of my other clients this week too. The idea, when you call, you have an opinion about something going on in this person's business. And the point of the call is to get to the meat of that opinion. right?
Yeah.
It's not to check the box. Hey, I'm calling with cybersecurity. Do you have cybersecurity? Oh, you do?
Right,
Okay, I'm calling with cybersecurity.
Right, I get
that's
you.
not the point. The point is to get them talking about what they're doing for cybersecurity.
I agree.
And so then understanding what you do, what Flowsome does, what your company does in context of what's normally going on at a company, and being able to talk about the business problems and the valuable solution is how you get people to lean forward. You want people saying things like, oh, interesting. How are you doing that?
Right.
Huh, I've never heard of that before. Oh, that's what we want.
It is what we want. And I think, yeah, I like this. I'm adding this to it because I think that'll really help me with the script. So I appreciate that, Kevin, because I'll take that out. Why am I so resistant? But I'm good. I'm open to coaching. But it's funny how I do this, though. Do you find yourself like I always fall back to that email one?
Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Damien, how you doing today? I'm all right, but Damien, I know I'm a bit of an interruption here. Do you have a minute and I can tell you exactly why I called, or are you heads down on something else? Awesome. So, Damien, I work directly with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their organization by leveraging structure, process, and of course, proven technology. I was curious. I was doing a bit of research. Does your sales organization have a strong calling culture? Do you have people doing things like this? Yeah, I mean, the simplest way to say it is a bit of a consultant, coach, trainer. That's what I do. So I help folks not just in the coaching of cold conversations, but the structure and the process of how we get there. A lot of teams will, buy one platform. You buy an Outreach.io or you buy a HubSpot, and you say, okay, my sales team has everything they need. They should be able to go have all the conversations and get all the revenue. And I get really nitty gritty into the weeds on ways to enable your team to have more conversations at scale with your target prospects. Is that something maybe we should talk about in the next week or so? Oh, okay. So your sales team is absolutely crushing it. Do you guys use an auto dialing tool at all to enable higher amounts of conversations? You're using some of the best in breed tools there. To be honest with you, the both of those tools are tools I have a lot of experience with, and that's your stack. You have both those tools for your team. Awesome. Yeah. So I mean, I actually for a period of time was a consultant working exclusively with Connect Cell. So as long as everything's going really great there and you're digging it and your team uses it a lot, then no issues. But I do have a ton of experience with that. If you thought it made sense to just sit down and look under the hood a little bit. All right. Is it D Stevens at Servosity.com? All right, Damien, I'll follow up with an email and I'll connect with you on LinkedIn as well. Is that cool? All right. Have a great day. Okay. Okie dokie. That was a really good call.
It was. I thought it was a good call.
Sales.
I liked how you handled it when I didn't hear the objection, but it sounded like his team was doing awesome. I like that approach a lot.
Yeah. So that's very common, right? So two really common things happen there. Number one, he heard my pitch, he heard the value, and he said, get right to the point. Are you A, B, or C? Like, are you a vendor? Are you a consultant, trainer? Like, what do you do? And I had that fully. I was prepared to just say, I'm a consultant trainer, right? I'm a coach trainer.
Right.
So I'm not. So in his brain, he can differentiate between, okay, are you selling me a platform? Are you selling me a team? Okay, all right, coach and trainer. Then I asked him about overall calling culture, and he said, yeah, I've got that. And then I even brought up, hey, your sales team's crushing it. And he said, yeah. So in my head, alarm bells are going off. This is not a guy I really want to speak to. Because if everything is going hunky-dory and you're hitting all your numbers and everything, you're not going to spend money on a consultant to help you improve things. You only do that when there's a problem.
Right.
It's not finding a problem.
Right.
Then I talked about the technology, and he told me about his tech stack. That's where the conversation took a turn, because I do have a lot of experience in the tech stack that he uses. So then he perked up and said, hey, I got to go. I'm not booking a call right now, but follow up with me.
Cool.
That's a warm follow-up in the business, people. So warm follow-ups like this is what makes the world go round. This is really good progress, in my opinion, right?
To me, it's great progress. It's a positive interaction. Like you know what I mean? Like you're moving yourself one step closer. And people don't always know that they have a problem, and you're not necessarily going to uncover a problem on the first cold call. So
that's right.
I think you did it. And if you would have tried to push him into a meeting or something, or gotten a little bit, if you would have went down the road of, well, instead of sending you something, what if we just book, I think that probably would have turned him off from it.
Yes, you were right. And I like that approach. I like that. Why don't we do that? I like that when it's not a C-level executive, because their time is money. And you can try to kind of push them into taking a meeting when they weren't going to, and they weren't thinking about it. The problem is C-level executives are the first people to X things off their calendar. They'll book the meeting with you on the call, and then they won't show up, or they're just going to delete it or whatever, right?
Exactly. And it's don't waste everybody's time booking it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. This guy went to community college as well.
What's that?
This guy went to community college. The guy I just spoke with. I got him on LinkedIn now.
Oh, very cool.
People who went to community college and I were the same. I went to community college as well. So I have a place in my heart for people that went to a small school and did good things afterwards.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. So I'm going to mention that in my follow-up email.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right, you back in the queue?
I'm in the queue. Nothing yet, but as soon as it does, I'm excited to try the new opener.
I'm going to make sure to send him a little note here. Boop.
Hi, Jen Mead. I know I'm calling out of the blue. Do you mind if I share why? Okay. Yeah. Well, happy holidays. No, I understand. No worries. It's okay. Whoa. Okay. They were on vacation. Not happy. They were on vacation, and that was all on me because I got so caught off guard when they answered.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have this problem or not, but technology is awesome. Mm-hmm. But one of the things when I'm doing something in a rapid way like that, I lose like when I'm going through, let's say, a sales loft and I'm one by one dialing intentionally.
Yeah.
I tend to have a better grasp on who it is and the company. And so then when they answer, I'm not so like that. But sometimes, and that's what just happened to me here.
Well, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
It was someone on your healthcare list, right?
Yeah.
Healthcare technology company. Is it the same sort of title as everybody else on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Senior manager. DevOps.
If it's sort of the same titles, same responsibilities, same type of companies, does it matter if his name's Bob or if it's Steve or if it's Stephanie or Jill? It doesn't, right? Because what you do, what Flowsome does for people like this is exactly the same for all of them at the highest level, right? We don't know if they're going to be a customer and buying a product X, Y, Z, or working with you for 16 months or 18 months or 3 years or whatever. Yeah. What we do know is when we look at a blank list of people just like this, Flowsome matches like this for every single person.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that. Now we need to build a structure in how we get into our calls.
Yeah.
To make it an assembly line. This is Henry Ford. Henry Ford looked at the whole process and said, Geez, man, why does the same guy put the wheel on that's then putting the steering wheel on that's then putting the hood on? I'm gonna make people who are really good at putting the hood on. I make really people,
Right. Right. So
So
would
I
you
say
not
all
worry
this to
about
say,
opening with the name?
never.
Never.
You open with the name. You open with the same thing every single time, Julie. Hey, this is Julie with Flowsome. How you doing today? Hey, this is Julie with Flowsome. How you doing today? Hey, this is Julie with Flowsome. How you doing today? And the reason you open the exact same thing every time, because guess what's coming right back at you every time, 99 times out of 100. I'm all right. Who is this?
Right. Always.
Where did you say you're calling from?
Right.
Even though you just told them.
You're 100% right.
And you could have a crystal clear connection, but this is so this is something that I identified in human nature, and I take advantage of it with all my clients, and people love this, right?
Okay.
People say, "Who are you?" when you just told them who you are, because their brain thinks, whoa. The pinball goes in their head and it goes, okay, Julie, my aunt's name is Julie, my ex-girlfriend's named Julie, I hate people named Julie. Julie doesn't sound like this though. Julie doesn't call from this number. Julie at Flowsome? Did she mean to say Flossom? Does she mean flow? Is she saying flow like a river? Their brain does all of that in literally a second.
Right.
And what comes out is, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Right. Every time.
That's what happens every single
time. You're right.
Now, here's the bad news. When you say it again, slower the next time, it's not going to make any more connections in their brain.
No, it doesn't.
It's not. But now we have them in this curious state of, okay, all right. So now I heard you. You said your name's Julie. Some company named Flowsome. Like what? And now they're sitting here like this, and they're like, oh, you're a salesperson. And the sales thing hits right then and there.
It does.
So now the fuse is lit. They've identified you're not their cousin, brother, friend, fireman saying their kid's school burned down. You're none of that. You're a salesperson. They've identified that. So now you got to hit them with, hey, let's call it the elephant in the room. I'm calling you out of the blue. Do you have a minute? Are your heads down on something? Do you mind if I get 1 minute to tell you exactly why I called? And then they make that decision right then and there to have their fuse be 2 minutes long or no, I'm busy. I don't have time for a sales call. Bye. Which we don't care, right? Because you're going to use tools to get back in front of them.
Yeah, we'll get back in. Right. So do you say it's Kevin? I missed it the first time. So you think that's a good way? Because I always usually say, how are you? That's the thing.
So I would open every single call like this. Hey, it's Julie with Flowsome. How you doing today?
Okay, perfect.
Every single call, the exact same way. You hear a beep in your sleep, and you start saying, hey, it's Julie with Flowsome.
Okay, I can do it.
And that way, you know exactly what's coming back. What's coming back?
Who is this again?
Yep. They're going to ask you to clarify. Then after you clarify, you say it. Yeah, my name's Julie. I'm with a company called Flowsome. I know I'm calling you out of the blue here. You got 30 seconds for me? And that's going to clear the air for all of the little baloney things.
Yes.
I say baloney. I could use a bunch more four-letter words about people who slam on you in the first 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So I call that a false negative. False negative is when someone gives you a negative impression about your brand, company, pitch, whatever. But the false negative because they don't even know who you are or what you do.
Right.
They don't even know anything about your company. They don't know about the business problems and valuable solutions. They don't know any of that.
Right.
What they do know is you just interrupted them and they don't want to talk to a salesperson.
Right.
Yeah. So we don't let them say, I'm not interested. Take me off your list. We guard against that by clearing the air and saying, yo. Julia Flowsome here. You don't know me. You ready for 30 seconds of stranger time or not?
Right.
No, that's cool. I'm out. Peace. Deuces. Hang up.
Right.
Exit stage left. I'm out.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. Like it. All right. I'll give it a shot.
All right. I'm going to jump back in the queue myself.
Me too.
Had a good conversation with Damien. How's your connect rate been this week so far? It's we're getting to that worst time of the year. Yeah.
I've been having not much at all. Like, and then if I get it, it's like it's it's nobody's there. It's just like there wasn't really a connect, you know. I get excited, but today so far too. So actually, you're my good luck.
Love that.
Yeah. I'm using Trellis. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it sits on the side and it
Uh-huh.
helps me because it slows me down. Because when I do live cold calling, sometimes I get so hype. Like I'm so excited by your energy. And then when the phone picks up, I gotta go, whoa, you know, because I'm
Got to
talking
change
to dead
gears real
energy.
quick.
Yeah. And Trellis is really cool because it tells me it's like, whoa, girl, slow down. Thankfully.
I love Trellis. I'm a big fan. If you have a link to Trellis, you can put it in the chat for everybody. It's a free tool right now,
Yeah,
right? For
it's free.
99% of people. You guys should be using a tool like Trellis to help you guide your conversations. It's not a dialing tool, to be clear, though. So if you're
Not a
looking to make
dialing
more
tool.
calls, Trellis is not going to help you do that. But
Doesn't
it,
dial.
but it will ride alongside of you as you are making your calls, and it's hugely helpful.
That's what I like about it is it just rides alongside and it's there.
Yep. Are you in the queue? I'm in the queue.
I'm in the queue.
All right, we're in the queue. Are you excited for Christmas? Your household celebrates Christmas, right?
Yes, we do Christmas, and I am excited about Christmas, but yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So it's my husband has a brain tumor, so that's not to get sad, but it is what it is. So it's been a weird Christmas, but I'm very excited about Christmas because my kids are home, my daughter's
Yeah.
from college, and I love that. So that's fun. And we're watching all the binge watching all their college shows, which I was telling you about earlier. It's crazy fun. So I do like that. How about you? Are you excited? You got little ones, right? So Christmas
Yeah,
magic.
I have a 2-year-old. She
Oh,
turns in February, so she is the prime age. You know, last year around this time, she was very kind of just barely
scared.
sitting up on her own, and
Oh,
we gave her a present. She kind of like ripped a little bit of it off. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Brian, how you doing? I'm all right, but I know I'm calling you out of the blue. It's a week before Christmas. Did I catch you with a minute to have a conversation? Or are you busy? Well, Brian, my name is Kevin. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I work with B2B SaaS businesses to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization by leveraging structure, process, and of course technology. I didn't know if you were the right person to speak to at Atlantis about this, or if maybe there's someone else I should speak to. Calling culture in general, right? So I'm a consultant and a coach. I don't sell a singular platform necessarily. That's what makes me a little different. But folks who bring me in say things like, "Well, my sales team has some tech and they're not succeeding," or "My sales team doesn't have tech and enablement, and I need them having more conversations with prospects." The easiest way to put it, Brian, I help people do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is have conversations with strangers. And that's how we can open doors and build your top of funnel. Is this something that we should have a more focused conversation about? Okay. Okay. Is that just because of like a deeply held belief that like cold calling is dead, or okay? Okay. Last question for you. I have consulted with businesses that sell to a technical buyer, like software engineers, people like that, and had great success. Have you tried cold calling? Have you tried outbound phone conversations and it didn't work, or is this just you found what works well with email and you're going to stick with that? Yeah, sounds like a bit of a process and technology problem, right? If you can't find their number,
hey, it's Julie with Flowsome. How are you doing today?
yeah, okay, all right, Brian.
Julie with
Well, thanks
Flowsome.
for thanks.
I know I'm calling out of the blue. Do you mind if I share why? Well, I work with Salesforce dev teams to streamline their Salesforce dev processes, but I didn't realize this was a do not call number. So I'm not trying to. Okay.
Oh no, you got hit with a do not call list.
Yeah, and honestly, I almost started to push back on the dude because I'm like, dude, I looked at it. It doesn't say anything here about do not call, and he's in Virginia, so whatever. He was pretty persistent about it. So when they start saying legal, I'm like, okay, sorry about that. But yeah,
Yeah,
but what's that?
That's super rare. Like,
Is it?
In all my days of cold calling, and anyone who knows me knows that I've cold called many times. I can count on one hand the amount of times someone hit me with a do not call. Like, did you know my number's on the do not call list? Right? Do you know how I train people to answer that?
What?
I didn't know that because I didn't buy your number from a big consumer watch list. Okay. I actually did research on you individually in your role, and I wanted to make a one-on-one connection. And just let them answer that.
That's a good one. I love that.
Let them answer that. Because so when people say the do not call thing, it's because of what, by the way, I bought a domain. Let me tell my story here for 30 seconds. I bought a domain for a project that I'm running off of GoDaddy.com. And in the last 2 days, I have gotten 17 cold calls. 17, like so many. My phone's blowing up.
Gotcha.
They're all from call centers in overseas. And what I hear is I pick up the phone and then I hear a beep and then they're like, hello, sir, madam, domain, we do web development, we do this, we do that. And I've gotten call after call after call after call after call. So my point in saying that is not like to bag on those people. Like, sure, it's a terrible approach. It's a volume game that 1 in 1,000 people say yes and they win huge, right? But you and I are competing with that.
We are.
That sucks, right? That sucks. They cheapen the whole way of interacting on the phone. The whole idea that you can connect with people on the phone and meeting. So when someone says do not call, they're putting you in that bucket. They're saying you're the the dude in the call center listening for a beep, doesn't know anything about me. So you have to separate in their mind, differentiate. Hey, I'm not like that at all. Here's why. Yeah. And you can do it really quickly just by saying, hey, look, I was on your LinkedIn. So you're involved in Salesforce dev and I do Salesforce dev. It's a one-to-one connection and let them respond. And sometimes they're going to be a Scrooge. They're going to be a Grinch and they're going to say,
I like that though. I tried to kind of come back, but the way you just put that was so good. So I like that. And then just let him, he was still a Scrooge though. Cause I was like, I work with Salesforce devs, like, and he was just like, not really. Sorry, I'm on this list. I'm like, okay. But I will tell you that maybe, I don't know if this is something about me calling into enterprise sales, but I get this. I do get it.
Interesting.
I get it a lot. Like people get very offended that I call their cell phone. They are just like, what are you doing? It's almost like this is some kind of an unwritten rule. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. You know?
The cell phone thing, I have a different response. The cell phone thing, if someone says, hey, you reached me on my cell phone.
I only call cell phones.
Yeah, you should only call cell phones. I'm waiting. Try this one on next time. And everyone out there, you guys can take this to the bank. I've trained dozens of teams. Ooh, I'm sorry. I was doing research on you. This is the number that I found. It's 2023. Is there a better way to get in touch with you? Now, when they hear that, cognitive dissonance, it's going to go like this, because in their head, they know the answer is
no, not really.
No, this is the way.
This is where.
Right? So you say, is there a better way to get in touch with you? And they will probably say, well, I don't take solicitations on my cell phone. Like,
right.
I understand. Now that I have you here, do you have a second to listen, or should I kick rocks and like leave? And they could just say, cell phone's a no-go, right?
Right.
I build in a disposition in my dialer called not a phone lead. Now, this is a really important training point for every SDR to listen to. Just because someone says, don't call my cell phone, does not mean you can't sell to their organization. Does not mean that their organization has no business challenges and will never do business with you. It just means they don't want to talk on their cell phone. That's it.
Right.
So don't extrapolate and make all this like, oh, they're not interested. No, they're not. It's not that they're not interested. It's just that the guy just told you not to talk to him on a cell phone.
Right.
So sometimes you got to meet buyers where they're at, right? And that's why, by the way, like I know I'm the cold calling guy, but omni-channel is a must.
100%.
You have to be using multiple channels to reach out to people because not everybody picks up phone calls, not everybody answers cold emails, not everybody's on LinkedIn. So you got to be doing multiple channels.
I mean, I haven't booked a meeting via cold call yet. It's actually blowing my mind because, yeah, I'm not even kidding you. It's all been LinkedIn and email. And I told you how much I suck at email. But I'm telling you, these DevOps engineers, man, they just don't want to take cell phone calls. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I just got to get better at warming them up. But I'm not done, so I'll keep going.
That's right. I'm gonna get going too here. We've got 14 minutes left. If you have comments, questions, anything, hit up the chat. Happy to help people. Oh, that's weird.
What's that?
I clicked the wrong number. I clicked the wrong button. On the Kixie dialer, redial is right next to dial next.
Oh shoot.
I just buzzed Mr. Brian, the guy I had a conversation with.
Sorry about that.
My bad. Not trying to do that. But yeah, I was saying earlier, my daughter now, most days when she gets home from daycare, like walking in the house, she goes, Christmas tree. So she like gets it, getting like the idea of Christmas. And she's also the easiest person on the planet to buy a gift for, right? Like,
the easiest age ever.
Anything with Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Paw Patrol, she will absolutely freak out and think it's the best thing on the planet. So.
I want those days back because trust me, when they get to college and high school, forget it. Everything's expensive, man. There's nothing cheap.
Oh yeah. Your kids have iPhones, don't they? I mean, that's.
Well, I'll tell you, my kids, they work for it. My girls they all serve at Outback and Olive Garden, and my son's a host at Olive Garden. So they got to pay. Sorry, guys.
No, that's good. That's very good. I always had jobs in high school. As soon as I turned 16, I started working. And
I did not.
My favorite job.
What?
Go ahead.
Well, my father was when he passed away, he was the chairman and CEO of Experian Worldwide.
Oh,
which is embarrassing because my credit really sucks.
Hey, I was looking for Allie. Oh, hi, Allie. Sorry about that. I didn't hear what you said when you first connected. My name's Kevin. I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. It's actually my own company, if I'm being honest. And I spend. Oh my God! Yeah, terrible time. Sorry about that. I'll let you go. Bye-bye. Allie is in the hospital with her child. She thought I was a doctor, which is why she picked up the phone. So, big note out there to everybody. Once again, we can learn from this. Do not proceed. Do not continue to talk about any business stuff if people say they have a big life event going on. Because if anything, it'll be a negative brand impression. It'll be a negative thing in her life where she's going to say, like, I'm never working with that guy because he wanted to put how important his BDR, SDR stuff was over my life. Not cool.
Not cool at all. I mean, I don't even, to be honest, during the holiday times, Kevin, I don't know about you, but during the holidays, if people are polite and they're like, hey, look, I'm out with the family Christmas shopping, or I'm, doing whatever, I don't typically try to push back too much because it's Christmas, you know what I mean? Or it's the holidays. And now, a normal time of year, I'd be like, oh, yeah. And then I'll keep going. I don't care if they're shopping or on the golf course or whatever. But at certain times, and like you just said, family, life-threatening, no, there's not even, you don't even have to talk about why I call. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Yeah.
Exactly. You were saying your dad was the chairman of Experian Worldwide?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he was. And my credit is rough, so I feel so guilty about it. But I didn't have to work much when I was growing up. So
right on.
Yeah, but
my high school job that I loved, and I've told this story before on the podcast I used to have, the Sales Career Podcast. The best job ever, pretty much, is working at a Christmas tree lot. Like if you're a guy like me, I'm a
I've
big
heard
dude.
that.
Like working at a Christmas tree lot's fun. Why? Think about it. If you think about it real quick, number one, you get to work around Christmas trees. It smells amazing,
Amazing.
right? And it's like, you're watering the trees at night. There's like water glistening on them, and it smells good. Then the people who are coming, everybody who's coming to the to get their Christmas tree, it's like the best day of the year. They're like
the pictures.
They bring the dog, mom and dad are like, oh, let's not get the big tree this year. And the little girl's like, no, we want the big one.
Please.
And then the dad throws you $20 to tie it onto the top of his car. And it was so fun. And the Christmas tree lot where I worked was all high school dudes. So it was all of my buddies. And
wow. That sounds amazing.
We cleaned up. I remember thinking I thought I was Juicy J. I made like $1,500 in 2 weeks. And I was like, to a 17-year-old, you're like,
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I've got so much money. I can do everything. And then I think I spent it on like two PlayStation games and it was all gone. But
I ended up working. My parents taught me good work ethic. So I ended up working in college for like spending money because they didn't give me that. Like, party money, sorority money, but
beer money.
I was like Friendlies. I was a server at Friendlies. So have you ever heard of Friendlies?
No.
Your daughter would love it. It's a northern thing, I guess. It's an ice cream / like diner type food. But Friendly's ice cream you can find in the grocery store.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You never heard of
it?
Sundays, Reese's Cup. I used to make all the ice cream. Nobody's answering. Answer the phone.
Let's try to get one or two more here. We got 8 minutes left in the show. Last show of the year. Julie, wanted to say thank you as well. While we're rolling here, thanks for coming on today, and looking forward to a big 2023.
Yes, really excited.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, I'm starting 2023 out. I'm gonna do dry January.
Very cool.
And then I'm also gonna do this thing called the Fat Shred Challenge in my gym. So it's gonna be new year, new me.
Nice. I'm starting this year out with a book called The Presence Process by Michael Brown, recommended to me by Jared Robin. He's like amazing, that guy.
Yeah, big Jared Robin fan.
And focusing on my family. Hey, it's Julie with Flowsome. How are you doing today? I know I'm calling out of the blue. Do you mind if I share why? Yeah. I work with Salesforce dev teams just to streamline their Salesforce dev process. Out of curiosity, Dwight, are you guys refreshing your sandboxes with every new release or have you avoided some? Gotcha. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, the reason I asked is because a lot of dev teams we work with at Flowsome have been telling me that when they do that, it causes a lot of issues down the line or in future releases. Have you guys run into any of that? Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if I could yeah, I mean, if you could do that without all those manual effort, would it be worth, talking to someone a little bit more to learn how Flowsome could help save you some time with that? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fine. I get it. It's awesome. Right. Yeah, that sounds fun to me. Okay, well, in January, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, let me bring out my calendar just to see what it looks like. Right. Yeah. The 7th. Mm-hmm. That's fine. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and send out a Google Meet for that. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Well, I can give you, yeah. Why don't I send you this Google Meet out? I know you got to run. So I'll just send this out and then I'll touch base with you this evening just to make sure you got it. All right. If I don't see you accept it, then I will. Okay. 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. All right. All right, Dwight. Well, I will get that over to you. Have a good meeting. Have a good afternoon. And happy holidays. Have a good vacation. All right. Take care. Bye.
There we go. That counts. Does this count? That should count.
It counts. It counts. We'll see. So it does count. We'll see. It's so basically he had to go, he has to run, but he definitely does want to talk about it. So I booked it up to my calendar to call him. And then because he was just trying to rush, and honestly, I was struggling to bring up my AE's calendar. So because I didn't really get to develop it or anything, what I can do now is try to develop it a little, but also talk to my AE and see what he wants to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, it's the right person.
I mean, at the bare minimum, it's a super warm follow-up.
Exactly. And he latched on for sure to the sandboxes. So
exciting.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on getting a good meeting.
Thank you. Wow, I'm excited. Yeah. So hopefully, it's a bummer though. I so far I've had 100% like meeting to opportunity ratio, but I've only booked a few so far. But I hate how far out it is. I don't like to do that. That's not my favorite. But he was
out just in January, which is 2 weeks away.
January 7th.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the other thing about this time of year though is the next, probably starting tomorrow up until January 4th or 5th is a black hole for most people, right?
True.
Like he's not. If you're going on vacation, now's a great time to do it. Probably.
That's what he said. Yeah, he said I'm off tomorrow until the new year, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Probably 30% of the workforce is going to take some PTO between now and January 4th, 5th. Like it's just the way it is, right?
Yeah. Well, let's put that one in. Could you tell how excited I was? Trellis was like, girl, he can tell. Stop. Because I got all excited.
Look, I love it.
It was good.
Well, congratulations on a good meeting set here. I don't think we have any more time to dial. What's the best way for people to connect with you? Don't you have a little bit of a group going on too? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I with Shanda Christ. She's my Sassy Sales Soul sister. We started Sassy Sales Moms, and oh shoot, I feel like I'm echoing. Do you hear that?
Nope.
Okay. Anyway, so we started Sassy Sales Moms, and it is a community for people who are trying to break into SaaS sales or who are already in SaaS sales and need like a support. You don't have to be a mom. You just, if you want a little mom support or you want some of that kind of lifting you up spirit, that's what we offer. So we help each other out, make you believe in yourself, get you going.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Julie, thank you so much for coming on here. Everybody who stuck around to this point, if you want to hear both sides of the call, check out the podcast, Hop on Calls, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're going to take the best moments from every show, clip it up, and we take the audio from both sides, which is exciting.
Oh, very cool.
So thanks again, Julie, and let's stay in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Kevin. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. It's the third night of Hanukkah to all of our Jews out there. Love it.
Yes.
Cheers.